Hi everybody, welcome to the Made From Scratch kitchen on a Saturday afternoon. I am doing a live today for World Transformation Day, which is a fantastic initiative. It's have a look at it if you can. There's a Facebook page that's been set up for it, but it really is about helping people, helping people to make transformations, to change their lives in small ways if we can. So today what I thought we would do is share some knowledge, because I've been learning too, about sugar. So the title of today is What's the Fuss About Sugar? It's been in the news, it's everywhere, and there's also loads and loads of debate about it going on. You know, with this is, fruit shoots have got this and this has got this, and people are just going on and on about the confusion that there seems to be around sugar.
Can I give a couple of shouts out?
Yes, you can.
Yes, okay. Hi to Rash, who's joined us.
Hi Rash.
And we've got Vandana here.
Hi Vandana.
Nimisha's here, Parul's here,
Hi
Gabby's
everyone.
here.
Okay,
Hi.
so there's a lot to get through today, and it's going to be a lot of me yabbling on and on, but if you guys have got questions, please fire them away, okay? But what I'm going to start with, first of all, is I've done this before, and I've got this on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go through what are naturally occurring sugars and what are added sugars, and then we're going to talk about the sugar allowance, and then we're going to look at how to read the back of the packets. Those are the first bits. Then after that, we're going to have a look at a couple of different diets, as in a couple of different days in the life of perhaps a teenager, perhaps when we shift and we think we're being healthy.
Hi Nimisha. And
measure out the actual sugar content. Okay, so we're going to actually look physically at how much sugar we're additional sugar we're getting in our diet that we don't need. So to start off with, this is, you can get this information everywhere, okay? So the recommended maximum daily sugar intake is 30 grams for adults or children over the age of 11, 24 grams for 7 to 10 year olds, 19 grams for 4 to 6 year olds, and there's absolutely no allowance for under that age. So basically kind of 4 and under, there should be no added sugar to their diet. So those grams, we're going to weigh them out in a minute, but that is added sugar. So sugar you would add to your diet, not other types of sugar, okay? So let's go over to here so I can explain. We've got a really big array of things. So on this side of my table are where we get our naturally occurring sugars from. Our body needs sugar because the sugar provides us with energy. So whether we have carbohydrates, vegetables, whole foods, fruits, all of these things, grains. So over here, milk, yogurt, chickpeas, rice, sweet potatoes, bananas, berries, tomatoes, brown rice, oats. The list is all you can see. All these things are whole foods, and they have complex carbohydrates within them. They're a complex thing which has lots of things in it. So it'll have sugar in it, might have a bit of protein in it, it'll have vitamins in it and minerals in it. So it's got lots of things going on in it, okay? That's where we get our naturally occurring sugars from. That's what we should be focusing on when we're looking for the sugar that our body needs, all right? Over here is what we refer to as added sugar. All of these things your body deals with in exactly the same way. So when you hear people go, well, yeah, but it's coconut sugar, it's healthy. It's not. It is still sugar that you are adding to your food. So whether you're using refined white sugar, coconut sugar, brown sugar, syrups, maple syrup, honey, jaggery, and a lot of Indians, jaggery is really good for you. Yeah, okay, but it's all added sugar. So you must treat it all the same way, with caution and with respect. So maple syrup is not a processed sugar. Okay, it's something that occurs naturally from a tree, but it's not something that occurs naturally in our food. So we are adding it to our food to make it sweeter. So that's what added sugar is. So these are what they're talking about when they're talking about added sugar. So I'm going through this myself as well, by the way, and relearning it every time, because it's actually quite tricky. So when they're talking about 30 grams of sugar or 24 grams of sugar allowance, this is what they're talking about, added sugar. All right, So also I'd just like to give a little word of caution here. I'm not talking about calorie intake. I'm talking about sugar. I'm not talking about salt intake or fiber or vitamins or minerals, which are all the things that we need to look at as well when we are looking at sugar. Okay, so to vilify just sugar on its own is, you know, we need to be cautious about that, but we do need to understand it, because manufacturers today will use things like sugar and salt to enhance and flavors, sweeteners, which aren't classified as added sugar, by the way, I've just learned, to enhance the flavors of food so that we then want more and buy more. All right, so looking at all of this, how do we decipher what's, when we're looking at a packet of food, how do we decipher what's naturally occurring sugar and what's added sugar, right? So this is where your knowledge of reading the back of food packets, or, you know, the ingredients and the nutritional value of food packets comes in. So we're just going to have a quick, this is literally a quick tutorial. I really hope you find this useful. So these are oats, just oats, and it doesn't matter about the brand. So if you look sort of over here, it says ingredients. The ingredients, there's one thing on the ingredients. It's oats or oat flakes. So if we move over to the nutritional value, if you look at the carbohydrate, of which are sugars, you'll see there is a value there. Now, that sugar is naturally occurring because there's only that ingredient in there. So the sugar I'm getting in this packet, from this packet of oats, is from the whole food that's in here, the oats. Now, if we move on to...
Hi, Daniela.
Hi, Daniela. If we just stay there a minute. If we move on to something like Weetabix, which is a cereal very commonly, we all eat Weetabix. Okay, well, lots of us eat Weetabix, we give it to our children. So, if we look at the back of the Weetabix packet.
Hi, Sunita.
So, Weetabix. Weetabix has got the ingredients we look at. It's got wheat, brilliant, 95%. It's got barley, extract, and then it's got sugar. So, if we move over to the nutritional values, we look at carbohydrate, of which sugar. So per biscuit, if we look at it, that value there, 1.7 grams. Per two biscuits, sorry, 1.7 grams. That sugar is going to be a combination of the sugar we're getting from the wheat, which is naturally occurring, and the sugar, which they have stated there, which is added. All right. Hope I'm making that. I hope I'm sort of going as clear. I hope I'm being clear is what I want to say. So the other thing to bear in mind is that the higher up that word sugar comes into the ingredients list, the more of it there is in what you're eating. So that's quite simple. The other words, when you look at the back of the packet, sometimes you think, well, okay, hang on a minute. I don't know. There's so many different words for sugar. Right? There is something I printed out, and again, you can get this off the NHS website. This is readily available for you. Glucose, sucrose, maltose, syrup, corn syrup, honey, yeah? Fructose, molasses. These are all different words for sugar. And there are some more. The list is longer than that, but I'm not going to go into that. So again, when you're looking at the back of the packets, be a little bit savvy about what you're looking out for.
Hi, Chelsea.
Okay, hi, Chelsea. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the other side over there. We've covered this, and we're going to look at sort of what perhaps a typical day in the life of a teenager, I don't know, but we're going to look at what we all think of as, oh my goodness, this is a really poor diet. All right, we're going to look at that. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out in a small bowl. I'm going to measure out 30 grams of sugar so that you can see an adult. So this is 11 plus. This isn't even the younger ones. All right. So if you go that would be great. So I've got my little bowl. I've got my scales over here. I'm going to turn them on and balance them out. Hopefully they work. Yeah. Okay. So we've got 0 grams over here, and I'm going to measure out using just white refined sugar. Which is, does that happen to everyone? When you open the packet, the sugar just goes flying all over the place. I don't understand why that happens.
Yeah, that's how it's packaged.
So I've got 30 grams of sugar going into this bowl. That's 20, that's 25, that's 29, that's 30, okay? Oh my God, that is the tiniest amount of sugar. I don't know if you can see that, but that's my teaspoon and that's the sugar.
So just so you know, a teaspoon of sugar is actually 4.2 grams, rounded down is 4 grams.
So you're looking at about 8 teaspoons? 8 teaspoons of sugar is added sugar is what we should be having. No more than that in our diet. Now, those of you who have a cup of maybe 3 cups of tea with 2 sugar in it, you've already had 6 spoons, and that's not adding anything else. Anyway, so this is your allowance, 30 grams, which is not a lot. Okay, of added sugar. But what we're going to do now, I'm going to put that on one side, and I'm going to put this big bowl in here. And we're just going to go through some of the things that we may be eating, our children may be eating, we may be eating, or what we think is an unhealthy diet. All right. So we have here. This is day 1, shall we say? We're going to have.
This is not mine, by the way. This has been bought.
Do you know what? When I met Harry, this was Harry's actually. I'm sorry. Was it not? Okay, it was. I swear to God, it was. And anyway, when I was younger, I used to eat this stuff too. It was. We all do it. We've all been there, but it's just about learning. And actually, food has changed since we were young, and our activity levels have changed. And that's the point. That actually the ingredients in food have changed. So what we used to think and our grandparents think was healthy, it isn't healthy anymore. So that's what we need to explain to the grandparents. Before I start, I got one question. I got asked one thing. Please, what do we do when the children go to the grandparents' house and they get given this and this and this, and I keep telling them not to give the children, this sugar and these biscuits. Actually, you know what? You need to teach your children about the foods that they should and shouldn't be eating, and therefore they can go to grandma and granddad and say, I don't want to eat that, please can I have the fruit, or please can I have this instead. And also, if they have had a bit of a binge at grandma's, you've still got the rest of that time, the rest of the day or the week to balance everything out. So don't stress too much about things like that, but it is about instilling that knowledge in the children. Yeah, and slowly, if we can, into grandparents. Okay, so
we're going to go through.
Yeah, we've got a cup of tea. Going to wake up in the morning. This is our teenagers going to wake up in the morning, and Mum's going to make them a cup of tea. They're lucky.
Put 2 sugars in there.
Lucky, 2 sugars. Yeah, Ria used to have more than that. Ria Sharma.
I think she still does.
She still does. She used to have. So 2 sugars are going in there.
So 1 multigrain bar, which contains 12 grams of sugar. So
right.
In total now we're going to get 20.
So multigrain bar, because they haven't got time for breakfast, so they're going to grab one of these on the go. Breakfast, fruity bars, look green, look seriously healthy.
So one of those bars contains 12 grams of sugar.
Right, so I'm going to put 12 grams in. That's 24. I've got to do a bit of maths when I'm doing this. Whoop.
No, I can just let you know what it's going to be in total.
Sorry, I can't add. Okay, perfect. All right, that's 24 grams. All right. Okay, then they're going to go get to school or whatever. They're going to go to wherever they are, and then they're going to have a mid-morning snack. They're going to have break or whatever it is. And what comes out? Because they've kind of reached a dip, the sugar's been processed really quickly, and they're now feeling like they're on a low, and they don't realise it. They're going to go for something like an energy drink. This can be bought over the counter. By the way, you can't buy things with caffeine anymore. Children under 16 can't buy things with caffeine in them anymore, but they can buy this. This is a Monster drink. And Monster drink, oh, this is a good one. How many grams, Harry?
55 grams.
55 grams of sugar in that Monster drink. So here we go. 55 grams. So that one Monster drink alone has more added sugar than we are allowed to have as an adult in the day. So we've got 55 grams in there. But you know what? They're going to sip on that as well. But look, they need a little bit more sustenance. So they're going to have a Nutella bar. Be ready, Nutella.
It's all ready for you, and that contains another 10 grams.
Right, so one of those bars contains 10. Okay, I'll show you the size of the bar. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this, by the way. We bought all this. We don't have this in our house.
Frank will eat it.
Frank,
Frank, if you're watching, yeah, Christmas has
they're
come.
tiny. They're tiny. Literally, they are tiny. And you definitely want more. So 10, more than one. So 10 grams. I'm assuming they're going to have one. I'm being really good. 10 grams, so that's going to take me up to...
So Nita, I'll ask your question after we've just finished this little bit of a slot.
Okay, there we go. So that's fine. They've done that. This is morning.
This is not even lunchtime yet, guys.
We haven't got to lunch. We haven't got to lunch. We haven't got to lunch at all. Bearing in mind, we are only allowed 30 grams of sugar extra.
Hello, Nimi.
Hi, Nimi. Oh, Nimi was hilarious the other day. She was like, no, can't eat that, it's got sugar. Okay, so now it's lunchtime.
So our teenager has gone to the chip shop and got a plate. He's got a portion of chips.
Because they do. Harry, you are definitely not eating these later.
No, Ria's
Portion
already...
of chips. That's a portion of chips. Now.
And guess what?
Sorry, they're really yummy.
Yeah. This is the real test for Mira now. Can she actually
can I resist?
Can I resist?
Right, so a portion of chips, which actually, go on Harry, tell us.
0 sugar.
0 sugar. So how deceptive is that? Because it's
Very.
really unhealthy. It's cooked, it's fried, okay? It's got what nutritional value God only knows in there, but it's fried, but it's got 0 sugar.
But a trip to the fish and chip shop
Also means
da-da, a soft drink. In this case, a Coca-Cola, which
full fat
one, of course.
Full fat.
And of course, our teenager's going to consume all of that, and that is going to take them to 54 grams of sugar just for that can. Sorry, that bottle of Coke is 54 grams of added sugar.
And what I loved about the advert I saw in the A40 this morning on my way was that Coke very proudly are saying the others are changing their formula, but we're not. This big ad.
Hats off to them.
Brilliant. Okay, well done.
But our sweet tooth.
Oh, you do need a bit of something sweet. We all need something sweet. So we're going to have a Mars bar.
But this is a half-size Mars bar, so that's a 36.5 gram Mars bar. But guess what? It's got 24 grams of sugar in just that.
36 gram Mars bar.
Yeah.
Has got 24 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have read this before, by the way. 24 grams of sugar. We are notching this up. This is good. This is really good. Okay, so there we are. So they're doing really well. That's what they've eaten so far. They go back to school and they've got to study. So,
that's right, Vandana. Oh my God.
Yeah, so they're really hyper. They're really buzzing, and this is where the bad behaviour starts to come in sometimes.
But the sugar doesn't last?
No, sugar doesn't last. And by the way, at nursery, this is what we didn't do this at nursery, but what we found was, and I bet some of you are like that, there's a slump in the afternoon, and actually for children it can be a high and then a slump. So to get over that slump, they start to get a bit peckish again, and on their way home, what does everybody do on their way home?
Get 2 bags of crisps.
Get 2 bags of crisps.
And a Red Bull.
And a Red Bull. But you kind of, like, we're thinking, okay, hang on a minute, teenager under 16 can't buy this. But I don't know how many of you have a Red Bull in the house. I've got no idea. I think lots of parents do. Some parents probably don't.
Vodka,
but we
Red
will
Bull.
assume, but no vodka. They're teenagers. Well,
No. The adults.
Adults might. But anyway,
Yes,
yeah. So we've got a Red Bull. We're assuming there's one in the house, and they've taken one to go and to have on their way home. And they're going to have 2 packets of crisps, because actually, I'm not being funny. When you start one packet, you can't just have one packet, because I don't know if you've noticed the packets. There's like about 10 crisps per packet.
Yeah, there's actually more air in there than there are tea crisps.
So let's just go for it.
And I am going to publish my script.
Yeah, we'll post that up. It's going to be on the blog.
Yeah, so just so that you can see it. So crisps, 2 bags, 0 sugar. But the Red Bull, 52 grams of sugar in that can.
Okay, but
hello, Stuti.
Hold on, but Stuti, bless you. Stuti's going to laugh at me because we're all sugar freaks. So the best bit is these are sugar free. Yeah, you can eat as many of those as you like. No,
they're not fat free.
No. Right. So
we have 52 grams to add.
52 grams to add to this.
You wouldn't add that to a cake, would you?
52 grams. 52 grams. Come on. Nearly there. Nearly there.
Can you measure?
What do you mean, can I measure? You're so rude.
Right,
yeah,
52.
52. Right, there you go. They've had that. They're feeling really good. They've walked home, chatted with their friends, got in through the door. And possibly, they might have another cup of tea. I reckon they might have one more cup of tea.
So that's another 8 grams in there.
Another 2 spoons of sugar.
Yeah, so another 8 grams.
1,
so 4 grams per
2,
teaspoon.
Done. And then
we're going to have our evening meal.
this is the healthiest part of the day. They're going to have their evening meal. No one's at home to cook. They don't know how to cook. Yeah, because they're teenagers. They don't know how to cook. And so there's a variety of these ready-made meals, which, you know, we think, right, convenience, we're going to add them into the shopping list, put them in the kitchen, in the fridge, so that when our lovely, delightful teenager comes home, they're not going to be starving. They can eat this. And actually, I would be shocked if a teenager could eat just one of these. I think they'd probably eat two, but let's assume they're going to eat one. This is actually the healthiest part of their day.
Adam and Eve it? Look at that. Look at that. And that actually is probably fairly decent in terms of the balance that they actually do need.
But the reason I say, if you look at, and we'll look at the amount of sugar in there in a minute, but the reason I'm pointing this out is look at what they buy 3 for £7. So I mean, you know, £7's nothing. That's under £10 you can buy 3 of these for. So you're thinking this is value for money.
So Vandana does say it's like eating a whole cake every day.
Well,
the amount of sugar so far.
No, who said?
Vandana said.
Yeah, that. No, we're gonna. We'll tell you the total. Now, this is the reason this is healthier than everything else so far is because this actually has got no added sugar to it. The sugar in this is all from the vegetables that are there. All right, so let's forget the fact that it's got to have been highly processed and it's been in this packet for God knows how long. It's, you know, I'd love to be able to cook it and vacuum pack it and do stuff with food like this. But anyway, let's forget that. And by the way, I'm not knocking Waitrose or Marks and Spencers or Tesco's or anybody. It's just where we happen to be. But this is actually okay in terms of your sugar content. All right, naturally occurring sugars in here. All right.
Just for reference. That particular meal had 11 grams of
naturally occurring sugar.
Naturally occurring sugar.
Okay, all right. So,
but to finish we can't finish the whole day off without having a bit of chocolate at the end of the day.
Bit of sweet tooth before we go to bed, and we're just gonna be really sensible and have a couple of these because Mum's watching TV. We're just gonna sneak into the East kitchen, have a few of these before we go to bed, so that nobody knows. So. How much are we going to have? What are we
Just a small portion.
Just a small portion.
About 5 grams.
5 grams.
5 grams is worth about 8 grams of sugar.
5 grams of this chocolate buttons is worth 8 grams of sugar.
Yeah. So going back to what Mira sort of said about the added sugar and naturally occurring sugar, when I break down that meal is 242 grams worth of sugar. 11 of which are actually naturally occurring and 231 have actually been added.
231 grams.
231 is what should technically be in that bowl once we've done all of the adding up.
If we take out from here 30 grams of sugar, which is what our added allowance was. I don't know if you can see that, everyone. Sorry, let me do it this way. Take out 30 grams. Oh, too much.
Yeah, that's 30.
30 grams.
So you're allowed that.
That's what you're allowed.
But that is what has been artificially
That's what you put in your
consumed.
body.
Well, it's not being consumed artificially. It's been consumed by the teenager, and that's the extra added sugar that
we've just eaten.
Meal number 1.
We've just eaten. We've just eaten. That's what it's the extra sugar we've eaten in that meal. Okay.
We're gonna start making some lifestyle changes now because we watch the TV.
Yeah, but what's going to happen to this sugar over time?
Well,
what happens to excess sugar?
It's going to get converted
to
fat.
Right. So it's going to get converted to fat because it's not being used. It's going to be stored. Okay. The other thing is, don't forget. The other thing is, we're not moving as much as we used to, and that is a fact. There are some people in the population who are moving, but actually. We are not moving as much as we used to. We're not walking as much as we used to. It is just what life is all about. So we're now consuming more sugar than we probably ever used to, or even if we didn't, you know, there's some shift happening definitely because obesity levels have gone up. So something is happening, and this is what's happening. This is what exactly is happening. We are consuming too much sugar. Okay, and some of us are. There may be the other part of the population where we're quite slim and we're quite fit. I used to be, but I used to eat a lot of sugar as well. But that slowly in time begins to affect lots of different parts of your body. It can affect mental health. It can affect your skin. It can.
Now.
We had a short break, everyone. I do apologise. Thanks, Harry. Harry forgot to buy the data. Oh. Right.
Hashtag blame Harry.
Oh, for God's sake, honestly, really,
Look at this.
it's ridiculous. Okay, so we are now going to be looking at, sorry everyone, we're now going to be looking at we have now made some changes in our lives, and we are going to be super duper healthy.
Thanks for rejoining, Carol.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to be super duper healthy, and we are going to make some serious changes because we've realised the errors of our ways, and we are going to change. Okay, we're going to make some real serious changes because this is no good. We've all understood that this is no good, so we're going to be healthy. Okay, so this is our next meal, our next kind of phase, our healthy phase. So we're going to start in the morning with.
Can I have my script?
We're going to start in the morning with 2 Weetabix, very common, very normal. 2 Weetabix, some milk. We're going to use full fat milk. We can use skimmed, it's fine, but yeah. And on top of that, we're going to have a banana. We're going to put the full banana on, and we're going to drizzle a couple of teaspoons of honey on there, okay, just to add a bit of sweetness. Super duper healthy. All right. So we've already seen when we looked at Weetabix that there is some naturally occurring sugar and there's added sugar in that. We also know that in milk we've got naturally occurring sugar in there. You know that honey is added sugar, and we know that a banana is naturally occurring sugar. So this meal that this whole day we're going to look at, again we're going to look at the combination of naturally occurring sugars that our body needs and you know we should be looking for, and also added sugar. So we're trying to reduce added sugar. Yeah? That's the focus of this new healthy day, meals through the day. So how many sugars is
Thank you, Gabby, for rejoining. Right, so our new healthy breakfast.
Yes.
So 2 Weetabix, a banana, 250 ml of whole milk, and a couple of teaspoons of honey is 42 grams in total.
So at the end of this, you're going to tell us how much is added and how much is not, right?
Yeah.
So 42 grams of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Next, then we're going to, that's done us quite well for the morning. And we're then going to have a mid-morning snack. And our mid-morning snack, we're going to have a small latte. It could be Costa, it could be anybody, it could be anywhere. I've just got a Starbucks one. By the way, there's nothing in here. But anyway.
No, because I drank it.
You drank the black coffee, not that. Right, so there's a small Starbucks here. And with that small Starbucks, I'm going to have, because I've changed my ways, and I'm going to have some...
Hello, Greg.
Hi, I'm going to have some dried fruit and nuts, okay? Now, just want you to have a quick look at this, because if you look on the top of the packet, very faint writing, it says 4 servings.
Now, I could quite easily finish that in one.
You're not going to notice firstly that it says 4 servings. You're just going to eat the packet because you think that's a serving. That's how much I can eat because that's what they packaged it at, right? So we're going to have a full one of those, and we're going to have a latte with some hazelnut syrup, I think, because I think I like it. But I'm not adding any sugar to it, I'm just adding some hazelnut syrup. So how much sugar have I got in there?
What, in total now?
Yeah.
So for the
coffee?
If you're adding that, don't reset it.
No, I do have to reset it.
Okay, so we've got 31 extra grams.
Okay, so 31 grams going in. Flicking the sugar around, sorry. Okay, 31 grams in. Right, then that's seen me through till lunchtime. And
Fawzia, we're back online.
Thank you for joining us, I'm so sorry. So lunchtime, we've reached lunchtime, we're hungry, but we're going to be really healthy. We are going to choose a sandwich, okay?
So
we're going to
choose
choose
a meal
sandwich. Meal deal. Lots of meal deals
So
around.
sandwich, crisps, and a healthy drink.
Crisps, orange juice, because that's really healthy.
Oh, and a yogurt.
And I'm going to have some yogurt because yogurt's are good. Yogurts have got protein and they've got, they've got naturally occurring sugar, but I'm going to have one because I quite like the ones with the fruit in them already. I'm going to have one which is flavoured. I'm not going to have all 4, I'm going to have one. All right? So, and I'm going to drink all of this orange juice. Just so that you guys are aware, the recommended daily allowance of fruit juice is 150 ml. It's commonly known, it's out there, manufacturers know it, everybody knows it. But it doesn't matter whether it's Innocent or anybody else. And Innocent, supposedly healthy, I have no idea. But, this is already 330 ml. That bottle is 330 ml. So automatically you're going to drink all of that. So you've gone over your sort of recommended daily allowance of fruit juice. And the reason why fruit juice, they suggest fruit juice isn't that great to have too much of it, is because when you process it, when you juice it, you lose the fibre. You concentrate the sugar and you lose the fibre. So if you're going to have an orange and water, that's better for you. But anyway, we're going to focus on, we're going to have the whole of that. And of course it's naturally occurring sugar, so we think it's healthy. We're going to have one of these, a sandwich, and we're going to have a bag of crisps. So, how much sugar have I got in there, Harry?
So that particular meal is 48 grams.
48 grams of sugar. So at the moment we haven't deciphered which is naturally occurring and how much is
But I will have
artificial.
that. I will have that split
We will
for
tell
you.
you in a minute. 48 grams of sugar in that meal.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how much of it yet.
I'm not quite making a cake yet, but
No, it's less. We're doing much better than we
doing
were.
much better.
Doing much better, and we don't know how much of that is artificial, is added, and how much of it is natural.
I
so
will reveal that at the end.
we're doing quite well. Okay, we've done that, we've had that, we've done that. Right, and then we get to afternoon, like sort of, 3 o'clock-ish, mid-afternoon. We're thinking, we're even saying we're avoiding tea and coffee because that's kind of not good. So we're going to keep healthy.
We're going to go for a smoothie.
We're going to go for a smoothie.
And a cereal bar.
It's just a little smoothie.
Just a little smoothie.
Just a little smoothie.
Just a little
one of these, look, Nature Valley must be healthy smoothie.
Granola bar. I mean,
granola
how
bar.
healthy is granola?
100% whole grain oats. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to go for one of those. Right, so again, bearing in mind your daily allowance of fruit, juice, or even a smoothie is 150 ml. You've already had 330 ml of your orange juice. You're now having 150. You're having 250 ml in here of smoothie. How much sugar in there, Harry?
36 grams.
36 grams. We're doing much better than we were. Because we don't know how much of this is added sugar. That's the key. We need to know how much, because that was all added sugar, wasn't it? Pretty much bar 11 grams.
Yeah.
And this so far we don't know. So we're doing better. Okay, there we go. We've done that. We've had our our afternoon thing. And actually we're going to be super duper healthy, and we're not going to eat anything between that mid-morning snack and our dinner. But again, we're rushed for time, and we've gone out and we've bought something. We've looked down the aisle, and actually this is, again, not vilifying any supermarket at all, but Waitrose is next to us, and it's Love Life, Waitrose, chicken tikka masala. It says the calorie on there. It's got lots of greens and a little bit of amber in the salt.
That's good because we like the traffic light thing.
Yes, very good. Traffic lights are great. And we look at the back, and actually, there's no added sugar in that at all.
So same like the other one.
Same as the other one. There's no added sugar in it, and they've done the calorie
That doesn't
count
mean
for
it's
you.
right to eat processed food.
Yeah, no.
Make it from scratch.
I still wouldn't recommend this at all. As in, I would recommend you making and cooking from scratch. It really is the only way that you can do stuff.
So
but anyway,
we're going to be healthy. We're going to have that, and we're going to have a piece of fruit.
And we're going to have a piece of fruit.
So altogether, my evening meal gives me 20 grams of sugar.
Ooh, that's good. 20 grams, but that might be naturally occurring. We don't know yet.
But because I'm also being really healthy, because throughout the day, I want to drink water, but I don't like plain water.
Yes, I don't like plain water. Most of us don't like plain water.
No.
We don't really like plain water. So
So
what
I'm
you do?
I'm going to get some flavoured water.
Flavoured water.
But
it's got nothing in it. Can't possibly have any sugar in it. And I'm going to have a litre of it. Shall I have
That's a liter and a half. But you know what? I want to stick to about a litre because otherwise
It's good for me.
I'll
Water's good for
I
me.
will be peeing all day. So a litre of water, of this flavoured water, but a
Go on,
litre
Harry.
of that flavoured water is 46 grams
Of
sugar.
46 grams of sugar
Yeah,
in a litre of that water.
yeah.
The flavoured water.
Yes.
But it looks clear.
What does it say?
And
on
it
the back?
looks...
So 100 mils of this. 100. No,
Where?
it's here.
I don't know
One-
if you guys can see
right.
that. No, probably not.
Right,
There.
they can. So 100 mils of water is 4.6 grams of sugar. So do the maths, people.
Okay. So what have I got there? What did you say? 46
Yeah,
grams.
and I'm rounding it down to 46 grams.
46 grams. But that's unnecessary because you could have just had plain water
You could have.
and that would have been
Yeah.
no added sugar. Okay, 46 grams. Right, anything else? I haven't had any tea or coffee. I'm being really good. Not had any tea. I usually would have had a cup of tea with a couple of spoons of sugar in it to go before I went to bed or something. But I'm being really good and I'm not having that. So that is all the sugar that I've eaten today. But how much of that
So
is...
meal number 2
How much of that is naturally occurring?
is
Or
222. Oops, 222 grams of sugar. So 114 of those grams are naturally occurring, leaving 108 of which are added. So when you compare to the added sugar earlier on, which is 231, we're moving in the right direction,
Right.
but we can still do better.
okay, so that's the amount of added sugar we've had.
Compare to
But we're only allowed 30 grams.
Yeah.
The government are saying we're only allowed 30 grams of added sugar. We've still had 70 grams more added sugar than we should have had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from a supposedly healthy diet. So it's really hard. It's not easy because when you're out, and I was talking to Sarah about this today. She gave me a lovely haircut, by the way. Thank you, Sarah. But when we were talking, you know, you're at work, you're hungry, you haven't got time to meal prep or whatever it may be. You are then surrounded by these choices, but actually those choices are still not helpful. So whilst the government are saying reduce sugar and this is your sugar allowance, blah blah blah, but they're not actually doing much about it. They're not, you know, manufacturers aren't helping us that much. There are certain shops that are better than others at helping with providing us with better choices. But actually, it's very difficult to really work your way through the maze of what to and not to have. Now, we had to look at a couple of other bits. I mean, the first thing is just you don't need that at all. You really, really don't. You can have normal water. So you instantly reduce the amount of added sugar. If you had a litre of that and that was 46 grams, that is unnecessary added sugar. Go for plain water. You've instantly gone 46 grams down on what your excess is. Okay, so that's probably the best thing. The next one is this. This is low fat. Low fat is always high in sugar. Have a plain yogurt with berries in it. You know, buy a packet of berries, buy some plain yogurt, and have that.
now.
Okay, so this is another one, another culprit of added sugar, which you just don't, you know, you don't need it. You should. It's even on an amber here. You know, the sugar's in there. So yes, there are some naturally occurring sugars in your yogurt, but actually, when you look at plain yogurt, and this is on my YouTube, a video on my YouTube channel as well. If you look at plain yogurt and adding berries to it, the sugar is ridiculously low. Any added sugar, whereas the added sugar in this is very high. Okay, so that's a really easy swap to do as well. Something like this, great, have it. It's not a problem, but have half. It's 150 ml, so have this. 150 ml is all you need.
So
you don't need the whole
portion
lot.
control.
Portion control, huge portion control. We found, okay, this is great. Again, this is 4 servings, so we've got to be careful about reading what it says. So it's 4 servings, so you've got to split that into 4 if you're going to eat it sensibly and in the right quantity. We also found something else in the shops that was, you know, again, really, really good actually. This little packet, and this is 1 serving. This is great. So actually, it's the right thing. You peel it, you eat it all, and it's done. And that had no added sugar, and it had calorie-wise, it was good as well, but it also had protein in it. There are lots of little things that we can do. So again, with the Weetabix, replace the Weetabix with porridge, okay? Don't add the honey, or if you are going to be reducing all of these things through the day, you probably can afford to have a little bit of honey. Don't have the whole banana, have half a banana. Don't have a whole sandwich, have half a sandwich, or use an open sandwich. There are also things like these salads that they're producing now as well. So again, you know, we're not here looking at calorie intake, I'm not looking at salt, I'm not looking at anything else, I'm just looking at sugar. But here you've got your vegetables, you've got some grains, you've got lots of sort of leafy vegetables and things, and you've got some sort of carbohydrates in the form of your lentils and things going on in something like this as well. So that's quite important. If you do need to have flavoured water, because you don't want to have water, you do want to just want to change things around, the coconut water has got less sugar than something like these flavoured waters as well, and that's in a small carton.
Yeah, because Nirol did some mention about naturally flavoured waters.
Yeah, but that's also 330 ml. Yeah, so that's quite, again, that's a large thing. I would have that over a period of time. But you know there are small little things that you can do. Now next week, what I'll be doing is I will be having over my PT Des. Some of you might know him, some of you may not. So he's going to come over on Sunday afternoon and sort of late afternoon, early evening, and we're going to talk about healthy snacks and lunch. What is it you can do for lunch, and what is it you can do during the day? What can you pick up that would be a healthier option? And we'll look at that through the day. Also looking at calorie intake, but also looking at your sugars and your fats and your proteins. Try and have protein with every meal. Try and make sure there is a form of protein with every meal and every snack, is one thing I would say to you. Second thing I would say to you is portion control. Reduce the amount you're having. Third thing, if you've got teenagers in the house, you've got kids in the house, if you take away the sugary foods, they're not going to be able to access it. And you, as parents, are your child's role model. So they will follow you. It may not happen now, but it will eventually seep in time. Don't stress. If you're kind of being more conscious about what you're eating, don't start stressing too much about that slice of cake and the biscuit. And you can enjoy all those things, but it's when you start having half a packet of biscuits, 2 slices of cake, three cups of tea with 2 spoons of sugar, you're already automatically building up and adding up and adding up. And if you're not as active as you were, or you're not as active as you should be, you're going to pile on the weight. Okay, and that sugar is going to get converted, and that's where diabetes comes from. You know, the whole thing where your body can't cope. Your system cannot cope with processing this amount of sugar, unnecessary extra empty calories every single day. Of course it's going to break down. It's like the same as a car. If you put the wrong stuff in your car, the wrong fuel in your car will eventually, the engine will break. It will stop. Our bodies are no different. So I really hope this has been helpful. I don't know if there were any questions, but I just hope, this was World Transformation Day. I'm so grateful to have been asked to have done this today. I really hope you find it useful. I'm going to do some short videos and pop them on my YouTube channel.
Chan says hi.
Hi Chan. We are going to go now, I think, because I think we're kind of, we are done.
But we'll reply back to any comments that...
We will. I'll try and go through and reply back to any comments that you may have. You can also just add them on at the end once you've watched it. But like I said, it isn't easy. So I get it. I honestly do get it. But also, if you are looking for healthier recipes, healthier options, do have a look at my blog. There is a heap load of recipes on there. There's energy balls, there's cookies, healthier cookies that don't have the added sugar in them.
So Nirol's asked the question about artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, okay, so artificial sweeteners. Let me just, here, you've got a fruit shoot. Somebody was saying about a fruit shoot. Fruit shoots have got artificial sweeteners in them. Okay, so fruit shoots have got artificial sweeteners in them. They say they don't have sugar because there's no sugar on the food label. So if you look at the back, you look at the ingredients, it won't have any added sugar, but what it does have is sweeteners. and they're not classified as sugar, as added sugar, but they're also, I mean, that's a whole different episode that we need to have, because
Gabby
they
said
are,
yes. She
yeah,
said avoid artificial sweeteners, no
Avoid
added
them.
sugars. Aspartame is not good.
absolutely, Gabby, absolutely. That's a whole different program that we need to have on this, or a whole different live we need to have on this, because it's just not on. So they are, again, they're conning us. Yes, no added sugar, but then it's got crap in it. Crap that is just, it's like, why would you give this crap to your children? Please, I'm sorry, it just needs to be said. No preservatives, no added sugar, made from concentrate, but then they've gone and put a whole, no swearing, lot of sweeteners in there and stuff. You don't need it. You just don't need it. Water. Children are fine with water. Don't be scared to say no. And actually, if they have a healthy diet all the rest of the time, if they do go to a party and there's a fruit shoot in there and they have one, fine, it's not a problem. But it's when you keep having it and then you give in to their pressure and have it in the house that you can't help it. That's what they're going to get used to. So be brave, get rid of these things, get rid of the Capri Sun, get rid of the fruit shoots, don't go for the milkshakes. Read the back of the labels. Don't go for the milk. It's horrendous what's out there. So stick to what you think is, stick to those basic principles. Be brave in the house, and don't bring those things in. If you do have to, and you have got teenagers, and I have a naughty cupboard, and those of you who watched my live a while back will know.
It's right there.
It's right there, and it's got some horrendous things at the bottom in amongst the popped ammo. Yeah, it's got horrendous things in there, but that's it. It's half a cupboard, and that's all they're allowed. Not allowed. That's what it's dwindled down to. Actually, I say allowed. I don't allow them anymore. They're too old for me to say what they should and shouldn't eat. But they know. You know what? We're going to have a Kit Kat. We're going to have a wagon wheel. We're going to have this. We're going to have a McDonald's. Whatever it may be. But then they know. They know. Okay. Well, I've had that. Then I know the rest of the day. This is what I'm going to have. So. Hope you found it useful. I would love to hear your comments. If you would like any more information, I've just written an article on my blog. I'm really active on Instagram and Facebook, and I've got some wonderful, quite informative videos on YouTube on sugar as well. So thank you all for watching. It's, as I said, World Transformation Day. Hopefully I've helped in some way.
Rosna just has to do it, doesn't she? I'm only here to see Mrs. Chiseled Arms.
Oh God, I forgot. Right, okay, I'm going to wear long sleeves again right now. You're naughty. Oh, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a really, really wonderful Saturday, and
enjoy the
I'll
rest
see you
of your
Tuesday.
weekend.
I'm going to speak to you tomorrow. I'm going to put a video up tomorrow to tell you who's cooking with me on Tuesday.
Can we
So
reveal now?
No, tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.